Okay. We're set up. So, yeah, this is what we did sometimes before after that meme thing, characteristics of ours as characters. We'll see if we're gonna use this somewhere. I think Hulk has an idea for this, but let's not uncover everything. I can just see. Okay. Open some books. This is the chill stream. Till I get work. I work in freelance online, but it still has some organized time. It just this morning was a little bit more loose than others. The reader is killing me. Well. So yeah, I will go on the next page and leave this for later edit. Okay. Adobe, please work. Why are you doing this to me? I think I finally did it. Okay. So there are a few ideas for this campaign, and they kind of left a little bit open, but some of them were more focused on eastern part of Gaia. So if you're not familiar with Anima Beyond the Fantasy, it's pen and paper RPG. I mean, there are versions for, there are even figurines, but they're stopped the production. There are a few video games too. They're gonna be releasing the new one. It's currently in production, not sure when it's supposed to should be out. Oh yeah, this is still me watching the art of Brigadine that Hawk just mentioned. Awesome looking night. So, Lands of the East in Anima Beyond the Fantasy. It's really high fantasy setting. Mostly it was customized by me, but I use a lot of references that are set already in the world. Especially on our, we had 3 years long campaign. On that we will talk together when we're all around, because literally all party members were from AAP and one other our friend. Let's see. So, the Eastern Lands. Lands definitely would be one of the options for this. But what of the campaign that would kind of be brought in 3-hour session parts? That's a little bit harder for Anima. Is percentile system. As I mentioned, high fantasy, mixed match of pretty much every single culture from known world. With semi-familiar races. especially the only thing that would be real familiar would be something as elves. Here they're called Sylvans, or Children of the Light. But Eastern lands are very anime-ish. So let's put overall maybe land, so the Lanet or Shivat. Planet is more oriented on Japanese-like culture, samurais, shugenjas, things like that from that mythology. But for example, their religion and especially supernatural stuff are all over the land. Are like it's shared like Eastern lands here, more or less. Sorry. I will turn those off. I will check the art later. I really want to check out the art from that game. And finally some sweet lemonade in the morning. Because certain things happened in Lanet over our 3-year long campaign, in both lands actually. They're, well, the highest of gods that kind of covers the land left its mortal form and returned into Tendo Gati, or realm of gods, heaven realm. And things have been a little bit better for these lands, but they still have issues more or less around, or with some legends of theirs. There was really big rift there, and they had issues with summoners, magic of any type actually, because in the battle, in their past, in the battle, the mortal aspect of their great god Varya, here named Amaterasu, in one battle, in his rage, he he literally opened the island, almost splitting it apart to the depths of Naraku, to the depths of hell. So that made some issues for islanders. But by this point in the story, Rift is closed, and we will see how that will progress too. Let me just enlarge this a bit, because no one will be maybe joining now. Maybe ticket drops in. We will see. Some papyrology issues, you know, with Karens that don't do their job. Oh well, that is unfortunate thing with any documentation now when you need to done, especially here. But it's, as I see, it's like everywhere, and as we mentioned in Japan, what we heard this past few times from Trash Taste, they might do it efficiently in the way that it's all correct and you're not returning constantly on those things by some misinformation for the papers you're missing, but they're doing it in such a detail that you will practically spend as much time as you would run around for another paper. So I'm not even sure what's better. So, let's see it like this. We have Land of Varia currently, because by this point Emperor of Lanet and brother and sister that ruled Shivat, that is more or less organized like Chinese empires, and they're very much martial art. All of them know some martial art. One of the biggest tournaments are in Shivat, in Gaia. So that actually makes me think that I might even make an archetype of campaign too. Definitely one of the ideas for what did I type? I feel I'm not awake. Definitely not in my fingers. Okay. That's definitely one of the things that's happening. Planet haven't finished its problem with the Dark Lord of that little island that exists in vicinity. It's actually in a way, older brother of Amaterasu. The insidious god, the dark god that's always challenging the land. It's a little bit similar to Legend of Five Rings and all their wall thing. It's just one island attacking the bigger part of the land, and mainly with Onis or some dark kamis. And yeah, most of the kamis are still they haven't returned to the land because something happened. First of all, something happened 700 years ago, now a little bit more, in the land of Gaia. There was really big war that practically destroyed the world. Gods kind of fixed that and made barriers in the and made 3 worlds out of that. They separated the races in the war: humans, Sylvans or elves, and Zari, or practically dark elves, but not. We will get into them later. They're almost like dark elf Greeks, hyperhumans, and they're imagined as such to be a superior human with extreme weakness to the metal. But yes, so Dark God had 2 sons, Some of them are dealt with, some of them are not. In all, generals of the Dark Gods. And one of the clans, I think Kurokami, the Black God, the clan of humans that are almost all chi masters, samurai that follow their war god, are mostly included for protection from that island. And it was silent for a long time ago. The battle was practically done. They won, and there was silence. But something happened around, by this point in our campaign, around 5 or more years ago, that trembled the earth. Someone, let's just say, turned off or started machinery of the world, something that is really integrated in core of everything, of souls, of gods, of literally everything. It was planned that lasted those 700 years. It was made those 700 years ago, and the process was that long to happen. This game is really almost made to the abandonment of supernatural with the humans, and there are many sides especially that try to free themselves of any strings. One of them are gods, to not meddle with humans. So, yeah, we have generals of Dark God that are still very prominent around, not just Laneta, and around Gaia overall. And they were mostly separated in. I would call them by this point they're almost like Yakuza around the world. One is working as ex-gangster, so practically under those generals. But yeah, they are very nasty, especially most of the weaponry of the Dark God works on sacrifice mechanics, that if you're damaged by stuff that's made from him, that will not heal, and some of that it will never heal. So, what else is currently prominent here? Oh yeah, one is definitely slow return of Kami, but that is overall. At least political thing is most regulated. There's still some of them that wants to, well, make war. Lanet is especially famous by all of that. It was almost imprinted as Japanese history of samurai. Constant inside wars. So, but with the newest daimyo Akira, it's a little bit lighter situation. He's a good ruler by all means. But yes, turn Kami. There's definitely the return of supernatural, more supernatural in Gaia currently. So, what else we have in here? there is certain bleach, if you want bleach, there is that aspect here too. In lore of Lanet are the black butterflies from planes of samsara, or here there are few planes of existence that are only made for kami or, well, dead souls, and the summoning system for not mages, because you have three supernatural types of power in Anima. You have ki, you have magic, and you have psychic powers, and you have a ritualistic type of summoning that was very well. They didn't use it because of the rift that existed before in the lands. Currently that rift is gone, but they are still oriented by ki summoning that is a little bit different. It's more like what you see in stuff like Naruto or some other shows that use onmyunji like talismans, and they're very much interconnected with all religious or mythology of that land specifically, and they can summon only creatures from those planes and not just any, if you know the ritual for it. And that creature will not stay dead for long. You literally spend your ki for it to remain. So it's very much kinda Naruto-like mechanic in that regard. But yes, Return Supernatural. There is certain thing with on Meteor Shugenja thing now, because they will become more like military power now than before. They usually protect the temples, they work to close the rifts, and those that have practiced ritualistic magic are, well, master binders, master banishers, less than summoners. So we have the military thing that's actually pretty good with the situation they're currently might be with new insurgents of Dark God, Yagarema, I think it's called. And when I mentioned the black butterflies, yes, but the butterflies of that, the representation of souls that are still remaining kinda in the material world. Here they're still called the eyes of Tsukiyomi, from the myth of the goddess of the Black Moon. One of the villains actually that I haven't included before, and generally those planes of samsara aren't included before. So journey through samsara is definitely one of the things that can happen. What am I writing? It's real specific because there are Matsuyagati, that's human realm. You have Ashuragati, that's realm of war and what Kurokamis follow, practically. Tiriagioni Gati, or realm of animals and beasts. You can have full Mononoke experience there. Pretagati, the reality of hungry spirits. You... They say sometimes more terrifying than Naraku, than the hell itself. Preta is the world of hungry spirits, the reality of beings that have been consumed by envy, jealousy, and uncontrollable desire. If you would want that Eastern undead specters and things like that, this is definitely it. You have, of course, Narakugati, hell, but it's purgatory as well, in a way, here. And have a lot of Onis. Here lies the Supreme Queen Tsukiyomi, goddess of the Black Moon. And, well, she was mentioned to be most powerful as much as one of the Nightmare Lords, because you have parallel realm of dreams. That's literally a copy of whole world. Eyes of Tsukiyomi. Yeah. Tsukiyomi is interesting. She's mentioned to be powerful as Malekith, the Prince of Crows. One of the Nightmare Lords that rules over the Wake, the parallel world of dreams that exists all over the Gaia. Humans are very connected to the Wake in a way that they can kind of wander there while they're dreaming. Sometimes strong emotions or big battles can make the demons or specters there too. Beside that, other races are on different scale connected to the Wake. For them, more natural type, because we can be positive, have positive and negative areas, and Sylvans and Duxerists are oriented to the light and the darkness. So they're a bit differently connected to the Wake or the Dreamlands. And there's hell of a lot of specters there too. But yes, Tsukiyomi is nasty stuff. But here literally made us Supreme Queen in hell. The creator literally made her a Naraku from Inuyasha, and that's scary by itself. It's believed that she's a union of hundreds of tenebrous reflections that have become sentient, and that's the point what I was talking about Wake. There were so many wars, and history of planet Shivat is like 5,000 years old. So you have entity practically made more than godlike in this. You have grades of the gods here, of minors, of deities, and entities, and that gnosis, like godly supernatural presence. This thing would have almost worldly presence. With that much. Okay, music is louder. Thank you for saying that, because I didn't hear that. Okay. And done. I hope now it's better. And then, of course, in the end we have Tengati, the Kingdom of Heaven. most famous, I mean, kami even in folklore of East are practically mentioned in some way or another here. Thank you. Do you like what you see of eventual campaigns for stream? I'm still not getting in the Shiva, I'm going one by one here. Uncle Hawk is in the chat, so let's see. There's one more thing, Magmatas. I'm not sure I want to make full Naruto-like story, that would be a little bit weird, but I don't know, with popularity and everything. I'm not seeing anything. These are not spoilers, these are possible recommendations that I will put to you guys what you want to play. So yeah, they're Magmatas, or they call them soul stones, treasures of Lanet, but Magatama. Oh my god, yes. Oh my god, yes. I always said Magmatas for some reason. But yeah, literally the prime elements and quite famous kamis are literally explained through this. Seiryu, the celestial dragon, Gambu, the black turtle, Suzaku, the phoenix, Byako, the white tiger, and Center, Kirin. And they are guarded in the temples, and the main conflict with Shivat was that one of the soul stones, it was actually stolen by Shivatis. So yeah, that thing is now still in their possession, but that is by the rule of Akira, that they send their Shugenja to actually protect it. So we have, as I said, we kinda have Lanet and Shivat connected to some degree. Not completely, but they're working together. It will be more internal struggle with some families and things like that, so you can have full samurai story on that. But yeah. So question. Oh. God damn it, what am I? What is with me today? So stones. And yeah, they practically possess the biggest biggest power of kamis here. Those stones are very much wanted with, well, Dark Odd wanted them. So there's that part of the story that might be included. Definitely some protectors of soul stones. Okay. So, what else we have here? By this point, I mean every part of this can be spread pretty much through anything. On the map, eastern lands are small, but they have story as much as almost all Gaia. And it's here in Gaia history, they're probably one of the oldest civilizations. I actually made mistake when I explaining the Daimax, or practically beastlings, catlings, closer to between something kitsune or cat-like, were one of the first settlers of lands of Varia, because they're very much closest to some forest spirits, just mortal. There is that political thing with Fion Ain Seimon that is something between I don't know, should I call it Hong Kong or South Korea, but there is clash of Earth and of oh my god, of East and West in there, and there is a history of actually Lanet and Shiva, when they were together with Amaterasu, they tried to conquer Fion. Fion is currently independent and there is some trade between them, but they still want to spread that land. Depends kinda on situation around them, and Eastern lands are pretty much independent of all other cultures surrounding them. There is question of Azure Alliance, one of the southern alliances of kingdoms that started to conquer southeast lands, that they might try to meddle with eastern lands, but I'm not sure they actually would be smart. I think actually they're smart enough not to do that by this point. So, in this few houses, this will be probably separated by houses when we start making characters for this campaign, because we have House Takeshi, that is the family that was practically disgraced by failure of not conquering Fion, and every house is practically protecting one of the soul stones, so it's very interconnected like that. They kinda still want that, by this point most of them are merchants and they're very much in good trade with Fion, so they conquering it in another way, and they're really wealthy by this point too. So I'm not sure. Some of their members, maybe some older or some youngsters that heard the stories of the old conquerors, might go for trying to utilize that wealth for a new war. Still, a relationship. Damon. Yes. Yes, that's what it's called. As I mentioned, House of Kurakami. They will be probably the ones dealing with Yagarema and possibilities of return of the Dark God. But the thing is, with the disappearance of Amaterasu, Yagarema kinda lost his interests like that. It's more of his generals and his sons that was left, demigods that are left on. And in this point in time, many of the gods stopped interacting heavily with humanity, with mortals overall. It's more or less that statement of the free will, especially the greater gods. It's not known are they completely disappeared or they are even destroyed in that event that happened 700 years ago. I haven't revealed anything completely, but they know that some connections are severed, and like you have in D&D clerics and things like that, powers granted by gods slowly disappearing. There are still some presence in artifacts, things like that, but it's not even close to what was, especially not in Age of Gods. They had their avatars all around the world, and they meddled in all of the mortal stuff. So yes, Kurokami, that went full anime on Onis. But it's a really interesting journey. As I said, it really depends where it goes. Karasuma are interesting. Karasuma, House of Karasuma, they say there are too many legends and stories about this family. They're true on Myunji and Shugenja clan, and they have a lot of ninjas too. A few houses inside that you have literally at least two branches. Especially because they can summon spirits. They are those key summoners that I mentioned. And Karasuma family deals with lands of Samsara, those planes, the most of anyone. And one specific thing is with those summons, they use pacts. They're blood pact with everything you summon, and they use their teachers of the seals of elements. It is really interesting that Karasuma probably has the least enemies, or almost none, than any clan, any house of Lanet, and even in history of Lanet. Karasuma dealt with their own business a lot, and other clans respect what they did by that point, because their best are in protections of. They go to other houses to work with the guards of the temples where they keep the soul stones. House Asakura. They're really influential on Imperial Court. Have a lot of spies. I mean, ninja is very present there. But there's certain thing that happened with Asakura family. Princess of Asakura is born with blood of the dark kami, one of the dark gods. And that kind of work in a bad way, that they are abandoned, exiled because of that, and it's still hidden. And she's on a journey to practically be accepted to the house, or to get rid of the connection to that dark Ami. And one of the masters of swordsmanship. Now, House of Kona and Oda. They're specifically, I would say, even weird. They're recognized as one. So, yeah, they unified after the wedding of the crown princess, but a long time ago. And with the military power only matched by House Kurakami. They have one of the best blacksmiths. They, well, as history goes, with Oda, they even use some firearms here. But thing is, some of them actually worked a little bit with Yagarema. Not many. There are some in the history that are intermingled with that one. But still, one of the proudest families and protectors of Tama of metal. And it's really strange because they're extremely traditional in a way, that they really don't want connections with the West kingdoms. Yet firearms are not strange to happen here. Connected a little bit with Shivat, that literally made gunpowder there, black powder. So yeah, there will be some of the choices that will be happening here. So, journey through Samsara will probably be Karasuma family. Shugenji military, it's between Karasuma and Asakura family actually. Dealing with the generals of the Dark Gods, Kami. Takashi trade. Traders. Okay. There's Magmata stones. Well, everyone is included in this, mostly. So yeah, those are some of the happenings on Lanet. They have at least some relationship now because of what happened in our campaign with the West, with now one of the biggest empires, Holy Empire of Abel. We will see if we actually keep the story inside the Eastern Lands, and that would be interesting by itself because we spent a little time there. And there is that new laws about magic, and that's kind of coming out because 700 years ago, when humans are separated in their own world, practically, there were about 10,000 of other races that are scattered. 10,000 of them actually remain, not just by the race, people of other races that are around Gaia. And now, and people will start to become oblivious to supernatural stuff. In last 5 or 7 years, things are starting to show up more and more, and especially they were regarded as some miracles, as a blessing of the gods and things like that. All those stuff that start in ignorance, and as much as they see mage counting him as a warlock or a witch, that's still around the world. That's still happening. It's just in a little bit lesser state now. It's not that spread. Depends how fast the word goes, and not everyone is accustomed to that yet, especially commoners, peasants. Those in higher rankings of kingdoms, they usually know. Maybe some nobles that are, well, looking their own business, but still, even they just looking out for themselves will have some of the knowledge of existence of the magic, especially after that last shadow war that happened, last two that made by players here. So yeah, there were some news and some rumbling in the world, but we're still talking about Eastern lands and possibilities of campaigns where it might go. We might get the Shivat here now, but still, as I said, this is very connected land. So in Shivat they had that issue with the brothers, young princes on the throne, because both of them were Nephilim. And Nephilim is like old soul. They bear the souls of all supernatural races, and those old souls were enemies actually. And to some degree they tried to kill each other because of drive, of old grudges, like 1,000 years old grudges that they actually didn't have in this time. So that is not completely resolved, so we will call that Golden Emperor Arc, because we still don't have one ruler there. Only positive thing, they both want to work with Akira by this point, and that's why all things settled a bit. And by being birthplace of martial arts in this world, tournament arc is very much that can happen in any of these storylines. It would be interesting actually with the players, but that depends what they actually want to play in the end. Yes, and the great temple of Maisen. On the top, well, lost in Sen Monogatari mountain range. And there is enough, the presence of Hungry Spirit Realm is more prominent here, because here they had more trouble with that summoning part before Rift is closed. And there's still even some cities haunted by rifts from that realm. Lots of yokai there. So yeah, remnants of yokai. This more or less it with the Eastern lands. There's some other stories would actually be around their connections and conflicts with lands around them. Let me see by geographic thing. I might even post, if I find the full map, I might post it here for you to see how the world actually looks like. Because that thing is big. And that's just one of the worlds. That world was all one before. Okay, I found the map, and I will post both of them. This first, give me just a second. As I said, still getting used to this OBS stuff. This will be a map of the world. I might even resize that a bit. That definitely trouble to see how big that thing is. Sorry. Look. Just a second. So yeah, it's big. Okay. We have Lanet here, Shivat, Phaeon here, and that is the little island. That's Dark God remnants, the war that happened there in the east. So close on the other side are currently realms of the conquering of the Black King. The desert on the west, it's closest to them, where many giants remain. Prairies of half giants, horned race. Mostly humans there, but there are some clans of them existing in those lands. And another one There might be call of Empire actually for East to involve themselves to Southern War, because they lost literally all battles in the South, almost all battles in the South. As they won on other fronts, that one was devastation. So yes, that would be Gaia, world of Gaia. But this is human world. That's big seas, old continent, and we have Eurakia, the new continent, on the left side. And what I wanted to show one more thing, actually how the world looks, or how it looked before. There we go. This is not really the official one, but is the closest to what people did on Wiki. I think it's French Wikipedia for Anima Beyond Fantasy. So yeah, the world is big, and you even have, there's a little invisible barrier that between the worlds, the crack that you see, a literal crack in existence. It's not the sea, the dark part is the oceans and the sea, and you have those intermediate worlds probably in between, that are literally between dimension worlds that exist here. But as I said, more about world we will discuss when I actually talk about Kalis that I'm currently GMing. But today we will talk about Hawk's world, and I'm really interested actually to see how that world works and some more GM side on that, because I kind of see it by this point from the player view. So I know some political stuff and some of the kingdom interworkings, but as I said, more of that tonight at probably 8 PM Central European time. Okay. Where are you? Okay. So, what we mentioned here, there will be some in Jesus, what's with my spelling?
Bonjour.
Oh, hello. Good morning, should I say to you?
Good morning. Just got out of bed. Feeling like a bread.
Oh yeah. I'm awake from 6 AM.
I am well aware of that. You've been on for 3 hours, 6 minutes, and 13 seconds. So congrats.
Oh yeah. You talked a little bit, and now I'm kind of making a spreadsheet of possibility of Eastern adventures for.
Oh yeah, I see Varia Returns of Kami. That's nice. Oh, Magatamas. Nice.
Yes. Well, as I said, it all depends. It all can be, as we know, it's very much interconnected, but depends what kind of campaign would be for this.
And also a good thing for Varia and Shivat. Give me a second. They are much condensed in space.
Yeah.
So there is not gonna be like we go to this state, then we go to this state, then we go to this state, then we make a alchemical circle.
I mean, it's still it's not that small, and the thing was in the last campaign, teleportation did a lot of work of traveling.
Oh yes. Welcome.
Good
Uncle
morning, you lazy bum.
Oh.
I'm out.
Okay, so Hawk returns too. Okay.
And he's gone.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah. Anyways, you shouldn't forget that they did go, in your story, there was a delegation from Shiva that went to Estigia to propose marriage.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's where we're going currently in the... When I start about nobles, and that's one of the... That's literally Golden Emperor arc. One of the princes went there.
Oh.
And they practically starting to a capsule from Estigia to Lanet and Shivat.
Oh, so bail out.
Well, not really bail out. That depends how it goes. And we saw it's still mixed.
Yeah.
Estigia, literally Egypt, to explain. Practically land like that, just go full mythological, supernatural thing. And they're pretty relaxed about supernatural things there.
Yeah, one of the rare.
Yeah, that's kind of included in Gold Emperor arc that I've written, and it mixed with this possibility of Empress Elizabeta asking them to join in on South.
Oh.
Because Empire had a few big losses there.
Oh.
That land is still kinda under the Azure Alliance, but not.
yeah. It's yes, but actually no.
All of them are kind of pressured by that. So yeah, and by this point, Lanet should have really good trade relationship with Fion.
Yes.
So
and Fion technically is a part of the Empire, right? If I recall well.
I think they are actually good for reminding me that.
Yeah, that actually happened because when we were making our campaign on the Moth.
Yeah.
Our friend who played the character of I can't recall what his alias was. I remember his true name.
Aurora.
Yes, that was his true name. That was his true name.
Nicolas Rosel.
Yes, Nicolas Rosé. He actually did make a move so that Gabriel and Fion would first form a trade alliance that would later, because of some incidents, go into the Empire because they needed.
It was with one of the members of Takashi family, actually.
Yes.
That makes sense for them to stay pretty much good in relationship with Fion. And because they forged by this point a relationship with the Empire too, because of your party, what it did. So, yeah, South looks tasty for them now.
yeah, understandable.
And in a way, it will be definitely for a better rule, at least more freedom. But we'll see how that goes. That's what I'm saying. It's kind of open question how how politics continue. It's really in that matter, and that's only if party involves itself with the court.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, my character.
We really jumped the gun, and you just woke up. So.
yeah, all good.
How are you feeling, mate?
Quite amazing. I kind of woke up to an interesting scene because my praying pet mantis pet.
Oh yeah.
She molded.
Oh.
And she's like an inch longer right now. So that's amazing. I also got my coffee. The weather outside was mild, to say the least. So I actually got some decent sleep off of it.
Oh yeah, it's.
So yeah, I am actually very well.
Night was a bit weird, but morning and thing was, I woke up 6 a.m. and I just mentioned to the Hawk, sky looked freaking poisonous in the 6 a.m. I didn't want to get up. It was like
that wonderful smog.
It's Mordor. It's some apocalypse outside, and I really don't want to get out right now. And it's not about the weather. It was actually nice and refreshing, and I went for a run, but it looked so ominous.
All the beauty of the Novosadski smog, or the Novi Sad smog.
Yeah. For a long time, I actually didn't know it's because of that, but oh damn.
Yeah.
Ah.
So yeah.
What did I miss to write? Oh yeah.
I did not get that reference, but oh well.
We definitely have that. Yeah.
I think that also a princess of Shivat had some quest line with gathering some either scrolls or seals, something if I recall.
Okay,
That was we touched that when my character met his clan for the first time.
He's molding like an Asmongold. Sorry,
I don't get that reference. That's what I said.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it's better.
Okay. Okay. So, anyways, where was I?
For the scrolls of Prince.
Or she was looking for some scrolls in order to be able to summon some kamis. I don't really recall. There was literally one sentence.
It is. One of Karasuma family actually searching for the scrolls.
Yes. That.
You met the Princess of Karasuma.
Yes. Now
the white-haired girl.
Yep.
Mad and balding. Thank you.
Oh.
So yeah.
Okay, that explains it. Thank you.
That's what's happening to the poor Aspogul. he's definitely not poor, but
oh, so it's getting asthma bold.
I need to send this to him.
Poor man.
But yeah. Okay.
Damn it.
What happened?
No, nothing. Epic Name Bro has his late night streams. I mean, late night streams by our standards because they started at 1 after midnight. But however, for the past couple of weeks, when he would get up, he would get a cup of bro and a little stream of an hour where he would just talk with his community. And unfortunately, today he's skipping that morning stream. So yeah, that's kind of like.
Oh.
I'm kind of sad because he's one of the more great streamers in my opinion, and I mean because he lives in the States and all of that.
I don't know.
Well, currently he's playing some good old Square Enix games like Brave Fencer Musashi.
Oh.
But he got popular by doing Dark Souls lore and Demon Souls lore videos.
Okay.
And he's I think he's one of the first persons that actually made some ideas for challenge runs in Dark Souls, like class with no other weapon or equipment change and stuff like that. I think Uncle Hawk knows that much better than I do. But in all honesty, like Epic Name Bro is just a really smart guy, and his community is amazing. And like I am willing kinda to watch his streams from 1 after midnight to like 5 in the morning, but I'll probably read that the next day. So.
Last thing, literally, what I did watch like that was this tournament arc. I mean, that's just because of my job, but actually, the last thing that I stayed late night to watch was now it's almost long time ago. It's Critical Role episode when Percy died.
For the first time, right?
Yeah, for the first time.
Wait, that's when they returned and Vexalia had his confession to the dead corpse and stuff like that, right? They did finish the Ripley arc.
I think that's the first time he died. Ripley kills him.
I remember.
Yeah. It was I like because it was something pursuit of the revenge story plotline, and it turned on him, and I like that kind of.
And I kind of like what Taliesin did in that moment. He was off screen, and he was actually weighing whether he is going to continue playing Percival or make a new character based on what the party says.
Yeah,
I think that was a really nice touch.
Well, that was kind of the point. He shouldn't be forcing the return. It's not like it's pressure to that, and I like that Matt is not pressuring them to.
Yeah.
You just return him. No. If Saul doesn't want to return, it doesn't. In the end.
Yeah. In that way, in all honesty, like it would be perfectly fine for his character to die there, because his soul would die with kind of no regrets. He fulfilled his revenge. He freed his sister. He cleared his town. It was just like...
I think... Wait, did they actually kill... Yeah, they finished her after he died. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the most gruesome scene because everyone had like... how do you want to do this? That lasted for...
I kind of didn't like that because...
Yeah, it
just shows that full adventurers go on...
Murder hobos.
Murder hobo mod because one party member died, but yeah.
I recall that very well. It is engraved in my memory cells and it wakes me up at night.
So, actually, I didn't heard from Hawk either, and maybe you tell me what actually interests you in this. Maybe we will not do Eastern, but this is just...
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm gonna just interrupt you.
Yes.
Because Micho says, EMB is the pillar of which the Souls community is built on. He is the first content creator for Dark Souls, but since he started streaming, he's talking real-life stuff, gaming news, game design, and if you're active in his stream, you can redeem points to make him a coffee break and talk about the point. One of the more wholesome and greater streamers, you should go and support him because he is a badass.
I just don't follow anything Souls, like, that's the thing.
He's not playing. He's not currently playing Souls. Like he plays Souls like after he like plays something and wants to do a challenge like a only spear challenge in Dark Souls and stuff like that, or Bloodborne. Yeah. Michael Spawn, thank you for the explanation in the chat. And yeah. Okay, so what I would practically want to see if I was playing a Varia setting.
Yeah.
I am not saying that I would play a Baka Gaijin. So let's get that right over there. I would like to play a character that is most close to our one-on-one play-by-post campaign. I would want to resurrect that character, kinda.
No, that's good. Yeah. That would definitely be somewhat Shivatis, probably.
Yeah, definitely.
Character. I mean, it is original martial arts there.
Yeah, and I would kind of like him to have the same story. So he would be a martial arts character, but he would go from ruins to ruins, if there are any of our abandoned temples, and try to resurrect some old martial arts.
It can. That storyline can be very much integrated in.
Yeah, and he would practically be I would actually play a warrior here.
Yeah, I mean, but you still go for... I think it was the BBC.
I came up with the concept of that character before I knew anything about Musishi.
Yeah, we actually...
and here's a really funny thing that goes along with my characters. I come up with an idea, and I remember making my White Wolf
give
character.
me just a second. You're a little bit breaking through the mic. I will just lower the volume. It's alright. Okay, go.
Okay, so we are playing our session, and my current character is Tuandalir, which is practically like a werewolf.
We actually talked about it.
Yeah. And I was playing a character that can transform into a white wolf before I knew Brand Animal existed.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. The second thing, before I knew of how much of a badass Waver Velvet becomes, I was practically playing a character in our paid session that was kind of like an older Waver, and it was just like,
I'm not
okay,
sure.
I see a pattern here.
Look, I'm not sure I would actually. It was more like on design than actually Waver.
Yeah, it was completely more on the design.
Yeah, because Waver is way more a teacher than a classical mage. He's really heavy in the magecraft, and Yor is really heavy.
Yeah.
Maybe I would say really a mage, not a magus almost.
Yeah. And considering that, I would really want to. Yeah, and considering that, I would really want to continue playing
that's
Vanga.
That's alright. I will say I will probably not go for making new martial arts here.
That's fine.
And
that's fine.
To be honest, here a lot of greater martial arts are things that can be uncovered, because you don't have all races, you don't have all the greater martial arts.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them are lost in time.
Yep.
In between those 700 years, just because of the things, for example, anything that Duxarist made, anything that even maybe some of the Daimach stuff are still present, but anything of others around are not that much.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I said a warrior, my bad. I would actually make him a towel. A towel / acrobatic warrior.
Yeah.
He will probably be a multi-class character, but I'll still see about that.
We didn't get into classes just because we will have the stream about Kalis and things like that, and then we will get into Gaia a bit more.
And I mean, to be honest, and like in Anima, the classes, when you design a character, you don't want to design a character by a class. You want to take a class to support your character concept.
Yeah, that.
I kind of feel like doing that always, because when you start making, let's say, a character for D&D, oh god, then I'm going to be, let's say, a paladin, and you find out that some things do not match, you get pissed at it.
A lot. Okay, 5th edition now is a bit different on that regard, because it still allows now more roleplay elements than 4th did, but I still had a hell of a lot of good roleplay moments even in the 4th edition.
I haven't played the 4th edition. I played the shit out of 3.5.
Simply didn't like, because mostly powers are battle oriented, not utility.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the only issue I had. Nothing really else. But yeah, so that character that you mentioned definitely can be included, and that storyline works here with no issue.
And I might actually play him as an Nephilim.
That's not, as I said, that's not an issue.
Issue. Because it would have kind of more sense to it when you take.
I don't know. On what way? You mean by recovering?
Well, by recovering, and also by the fact that Nephilims kind of redream their past lives. So it could have been that he actually carries the soul of
old one,
Duxarist, or someone who was actually a martial artist.
To be honest, here would be more probably Daima, but because of the land of Shivat. But it's not that much different. It still can happen. And Nephilim thing doesn't really choose a land. How to say? You can be the character not from the soul. Doesn't need to be from Shivat or Lanet actually. But it could be the one that visited those lands a long time ago.
And it left an impression.
Well, taught a lot of martial arts, and maybe even brought some.
Yeah, that is something that I can actually see happening. So that could be.
But yeah, a character like that definitely works in that setting.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
he would practically.
But still, what you're talking to me, it's very much background. What I'm asking is currently what a party story would be for more of things that I put here. Hawk said Soulstone storyline would be missing. I mean, Soulstone storyline is connected to almost all families, and now partially to the Shiva too, because there is that one stone there.
That's perfectly fine with me. That sounds appealing, and I would like to play that story.
Mostly, as I said, those that keep in the stone are kind of separated by the families, but there are always some Karasuma in all of them now. Karasuma or Asakura family, ninjas or Shugenja, on Munji, how do you want to call them? In all. So yeah.
Damn it, Shugenja.
So yeah, you could be now full on Munji without actually problems of samsara thing.
Yes.
Because Rift is closed, and they don't have problems anymore with that.
He's my grimoire of talismans. Deal with it.
But still, thing is, that storyline would be hell of a lot more mystical. You know.
I would probably tailor a character towards that.
As I said,
so,
don't drop in character just yet. See what interests you. That's why I'm saying.
That's easy for you.
Go find out a little bit more what's offered in the world before you drop it in. I know you like that character that you made, but still.
Yeah. I mean, I would be practical.
You can be a situation that, okay, that character is good, but situation around him is not what he made for.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, the Soulstones really sound interesting.
Soulstones
also, there are a couple of things that I would like to see experience. I would like to see it. This is gonna sound like sacrilege for me. For Shiva, it's perfectly fine for me to have a tournament arc.
What I think about tournament arc, what I put it there, it's not classic anime tournament arc. It's more like characters.
Show of skills.
Well, what did you say? I didn't hear.
Show of skills.
Yeah. It would be. I would try to make more story from that, not just simple show of skills. In a way, there is not just a reason of a challenge through there, because that would be think for a stream. That would be hell of a just PvP.
Yeah.
No.
That would be kind
of. The tournament arc is can be very much connected. For example, for a character that you just mentioned.
Yeah, exactly. And I would also like to deal with the remnants of the yokai.
Linga Mage. That's the thing. Karasu, for example, okay, Wanderer with an eye ring bow. There's another demon binder Rezo, but more like he introducing slayers. But depends. Key mage, ritualistic, or actually a mage, a wizard? Because there that much difference there.
Maho Tsukaido, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Rezo is a little bit specific, and especially in this setting. Mage. I mean, if you're going full spells, you can be on Munji easy, and that's literally making wizard illusionist, things like that.
I got a question.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. This is an interesting concept now that the chat said it. Could you actually make a character who is an illusionist, but who infuses his illusions of some aspects of the elements and kamis? So that he has enough in, let's say, Book of Illusions, that spell path, and that he knows key summoning, so he can combine that and actually make phantasmals that are similar to some aspects of kamis.
I literally mentioned that to one of our friends, that she could learn the summoning and using illusions, and actually mixed summon things with the illusions.
Oh yeah, I remember that. You actually said that to my girlfriend, right?
Yes.
Okay. I kind of I forgot about that.
And yeah, that's the scary thing. Thing is, you guys are now on higher levels, and those things are more possible. Problem is with the lower levels to establish that.
Yeah.
You would sacrifice a lot of skill part of the character if you want that on earlier levels.
Yeah. And you know me, I'm a skill.
Yeah.
I'm a skill monkey,
And
so give me my skill.
So, it's definitely possible. I always saying, by the level 10, you can practically make any character you imagined if you think a bit.
Yeah. I'm just gonna give me a minute.
Okay. So, Hawk, what would be a mage? Actually, mage with the gift of magic, or combination, or cheap mage? I mean, one of the characters I actually made as a player was full key mage. I would call it like that. It would be closest to how the Kum from Guilty Gear called himself. Tuner, yeah, something like that. Someone that really is in the flow of key. Be it summoning or be it simply as using techniques almost as a mage, not simply as a fighter.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of Anima. Like it seems like a scary system at first until you get into it. And it's gonna take you an hour or two, depending on how good you are to make a character, or how you're acquainted with the system, to be more precise. But the end reward can be so fulfilling and amazing in its own right.
It's
like,
rewarding.
You could make Anima characters as a hobby and be perfectly fine with that.
I mean, we're kind of starting to do this.
Yeah, exactly. Like
so. Yeah.
Oh, that coffee hit the spot. I'm ready to start this day with a bang!
So, Magmatas...
Boom!
Definitely some of the... thing is, I don't really separate anything of this. This is always included in me because I have that living world thing.
Oh yeah, I mean that is true, and stuff are going to interlap.
Yeah,
like whether you like it or not, it's kind of fine to accept the fact
that character make their priorities.
Yeah.
So, am I gonna now be? Wait, did I choose now to be a freaking hero of something, or did I want to find those lost martial arts? You need to define your character, and that's the part I want to establish, because there'll be some cuts in all of things because things are moving. I'm always playing key stuff, so I want to go. That would be interesting. I really want to see you actually as a mage, Hawk.
Yeah.
Illusion Man, wondering spellcasting is flexible as a key magic. Magic with creation of the illusions are especially flexible.
Yeah, they're so disgusting. It's amazing.
But you might want to go something as I made for his girlfriend. Fast accumulation mage, because it's not a problem in mana and things. Yeah, Anima actually has a mana. It's not one-time use. You actually have a mana pool that you use for casting spells, and practically most of the thing has, except psi powers.
Yeah, but you can even use psi indefinitely until you run out of your points.
Well, to a degree, yes.
And you can use those points to boost your current abilities, because psi is disgusting.
And you can become really nasty if you go into those magic level things and start actually going into meta magic, and you practically making a spell of your own for that.
Yeah. And I mean, a really amazing thing with like the spell casting of Nanit and Shivat, because the Shugenjas,
Yeah.
you don't necessarily need to have that much of magic accumulation. But let's say you have 80 magic accumulation. That can cast you one stronger spell at the basic level or two lower spells or stuff like that because of the mana costs. However, the way Shugenjas prepare magic, if I recall well, they actually need to prepare half of the points into a talisman and then do practically a quick cast by paying the other half of the mana points. So you could, I mean, if you could get, let's say, 150 mana accumulation on a Shugenja, you could cast like four spells in a round like this.
The problem with them is actually that preparation. It's costly by the time, by the things you get in, by the...
Yeah, exactly.
Think how many you can actually prepare. You can actually fail on those checks too.
I mean, to be honest, I kind of feel like an elimination of necessity. The key ability is kind of hacked there because it practically allows you to become an elf at night, a D&D elf at night, because you don't need to sleep. You kind of only need to like meditate and stuff like that. You need to eat and drink 10 less than your usual, 10 times less than your usual, and you got a lot of time to commit to some other stuff that you might actually not be able to do if you just get to sleep like 8 hours a day, 8 hours of adventuring, and 8 hours of fun.
Yeah, but that's only if you go for full kitting. I was
actually no, you don't have to. That's an ability that you can unlock with like investing.
What, martial art? Martial knowledge?
No, you don't have to. Because you're going to get martial knowledge per level.
That's what I'm saying. You're still using that for that ability. Martial knowledge. That is martial knowledge. That is key part.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And you can get it fairly easy even if you don't invest. Like you're gonna get it on level 3
That is actually what will I probably in some next campaigns remove completely.
Martial knowledge?
Parts of stuff like present extrusion and our extension to a certain extent.
I am not sure that I can agree with that.
Not in this world as a campaign.
No, I understand.
Not as world that we're playing. That's very much integrated into that.
Okay, in what way and why?
Present extrusion.
And why?
Because it's with present extrusion, any fighter, it's really easy. For example, ghosts are becoming useless with that. The presence you need to throw on literally second level. You need to throw ninth level ghost to be actually a ghost.
Okay. And
you literally need to overkill everything to become a little bit more useful.
Wait. Let me just say something. When we started this campaign,
yes,
and our previous campaign, none of us were casters. In this one, none of us were casters. We were more martial-based characters.
Yeah.
And it was a logical path in order to combat supernatural things to take presence extrusion, because it's one of the natural ways that a martial class...
You're not getting me. I'm absolutely not talking about our campaigns currently.
No, I'm explaining you why you shouldn't ban that, because let's say martial arts character.
I am not talking about these campaigns, because it will not be like these campaigns. That's the thing. Not this. Eastern Lands will be very much, because it's heavy by the martial knowledge, by the key powers and things like that. This will be very much integrated. I'm thinking about something in future that I want to make.
You mean like a completely custom stuff?
Yes, completely custom stuff.
Okay, then fucking elaborate it like
that. Yes, I did actually. As I said, future thing.
You kinda didn't, but okay.
I did. I did. You're waking up, I actually mentioned. But yes, it would be very stupid in the Eastern Lands to abandon that, because it's literally based on that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Something like that, just to make that would be for a very much lower maybe mid-fantasy type setting.
Yeah, okay. But I mean, it still stands that it's one of the rarer opportunities for martial arts characters to... actually, not martial arts, because Tech is kind of a hack in that. Because he can make techniques that can damage supernatural beings.
Yeah.
But let's say a pure warrior, just a pure warrior who goes based on instinct and experience and stuff like that, unless he gets a motherfucking sword that is going to be magical and able to kick supernatural,
And for me, that is actually okay.
damage supernatural things, like presence extrusion is a must.
Yeah, that's the thing. That is actually the reason I want to drop out, because I don't want to make them a must. Find that sword.
Okay, that's fine, but you're going to have mages that can do that from level 1.
Yes, and with not really a big empowerment. Thing would be, in that time, mages would be weaker too. And they would know, like, just few spells on lower level. As I said, that's just for full another setting, and I will not get into that because we're not talking about that at all.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine.
We went way too far from this. I didn't plan to go on there.
As we usually do.
But yeah.
So, yeah.
So, this is pretty much it. So, by you two, maybe Magmatus, and anything else from this list, or maybe as a recommendation or possible to what? I was thinking restricting PA?
PE.
PE?
PE. PE. What's PE? Presence extrusion with key cost. That could actually work. That is amazing way to put it.
That
because
is actually because everything other one's actually paying something for that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Let me open it. Oh, that kind of looks like you.
I can't open that on stream.
It's a safe link.
No, yeah, it will just show here. I will do it in another window. Okay.
Yeah, okay. That looks interesting.
I mean, I can open like this. Okay, it's opening now in another browser.
It also another thing now reminded me. Like, if you have a, let's say, chance and stuff like that, you could kind of go and buy certain artifacts from your land from, let's say, others who collect stuff.
I'm not sure where you're going with it.
Recollecting the artifacts of Shivat and Lanet that were bought by collectioners like eons ago, stuff like that. Someone has a sword that belongs to a certain family, but they lost it due to theft and something like that.
Those stories are very much integrated in anything, especially in political, actually here.
Yeah. That
really integrated like that. Because stuff like that, and not just artifacts, the mastercrafts.
Well, that too. Oh yeah.
Can change political marriages to making you a head of house.
Buying artifacts. He's probably thinking about, we go in, we steal them, and we.
Something like that. Yeah.
Or I'm sorry. Let me use a better term. Reacquire them. Once we got the Nagatari.
Oh damn! Yeah. No. I will probably not get into heavy artifacting here, just because what they had before, with the problem with the rift that I mentioned. Mostly those are most of the artifacts are very much hidden and stored, just because of magical saturation in the land and things like that.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking about one stuff because there was something that kind of sticked out for me while we were playing our longest Anima campaign right now, because we practically got 3 levels of challenge rating only due to items. Right?
Only
due to supernatural items.
Due to supernatural what?
Artifacts and stuff like that.
Okay, I really can't hear you that artifacts for some reason.
I said supernatural items because in a sense they are supernatural. I mean, D&D. That's something that Matt Mercer implemented in his sessions. That you could have 3 active artifacts on yourself.
Yeah, but
and you could kind of. I'm thinking you could kind of home rule something or homebrew something in Anima and just say, okay, you got artifacts, but you can only unlock their abilities if you, let's say, invest key in them.
Mana in them. There are actually some specific artifacts that work like that.
I know, but I mean, if you got 10 artifacts, they're gonna get you overpowered. You're gonna work a shit ton to get them, but
that thing that I use for you currently in our current campaign exists as a rule for normal stuff now.
Yeah. Okay. But that's more of a
bit higher on the presence than in saturated magical saturated area. For example.
but that's kind of applies to just one world right now.
Yeah, that's base rule from 5e.
Yeah. Oh, that's base rule from 5th edition. Oh, okay, I wasn't aware of that.
But yes, you genuinely have that rule by artifacts simply not working if you overpower yourself. For example, currently, Finn's character Konstantin had on himself. Most of those things wouldn't work by current rules of that artifact thing.
Oh yeah.
For example,
I mean, he had an amazing sword. Actually, 2 swords.
Simply by the presence of it, because sword there was amulet that gave absurd amount of magical levels. Armor was magical too.
He had a helmet made of star metal.
That too.
That gave him that raised his intelligence to 12.
But look, you guys were like 10th level by that point, so yeah.
Kind of.
As I'm saying, we're not getting into statistics because we're not talking about that on the stream. So we're just on the story based here. That's why I'm not jumping into that one. That's when the comes in and things like that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Because simple thing how people can actually understand what we're talking about. So this is mostly organizing what are possibilities for campaign in Eastern lands of Gaia in Anima Beyond the Fantasy.
I mean, you can always have those supernatural. There is a Japanese ghost haunting a home. Go deal with it.
It's already mentioned. You joined later on the stream.
Okay.
Remnants of yokai, for example.
I got it.
On Shivat, there are places, especially because they had problem with those ritual summoners.
Yeah.
They have problems with connections with hungry spirit realms.
Oh,
and
yes.
There are a hell of a lot of literally full haunted city to deal with that.
That's
so nice. Yeah, and the biggest problem is 19% of that city, what can attack you, is invisible to practically most of the people.
Yeah. That's jealous artifact is a thing came to be because a lot of people doing item builds ever since the age of D&D 2 edition.
Well, yeah.
That is fucking
honestly,
correct.
I don't know. I ever made character that was based any time on items. Anytime. By all of my playing NGM that I made that based on items.
I'm not sure. I like to have a character that's gonna invest stuff into magical items, but by this way. The 2 of my characters that I first played in your campaign, the first was Augustin Kaiser, and the other was Tamae. They both invested a shit ton of advantage points into artifact, and it was something that was very strict for them. And that's kind of fine for them because it works in the story and the background of the character, and it doesn't sound like a power build, but it can help you work on your character archetype.
Everything in anime is power build, I will say. Eventually becomes.
Okay, fine.
Eventually becomes, but
Okay,
that's
fine.
not the point. What I was talking about. It's alright. The very story-based weapon or something like that you have. I'm thinking about actually equipping myself through the campaign. It was never the option for me, kinda. It's only if it happens. It really depended on for GM.
Yeah,
on
I
that
mean,
part.
you're not gonna go into a shopping episode.
No, I was really see this coffee cup. It's a power build.
Yeah.
Kinda. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I kind of understand you. I was playing a lot of D&D with that train of thought because I'm not gonna go into a fucking shop and just give all of the stuff that I found in the random dungeon in order to get a specific item. No, bitch, I want to work for that item. I wanna find it after an epic battle so I can feel rewarded by it.
the problem usually comes with the GMs on there. If you kind of see that getting that item, it's so far-fetched thing. It kind of kills the
Yeah.
mood a bit. If you
Yeah.
see, okay, there is a point. How can we deal with this? There is a quest, maybe. How to get to that item. For example, what we did last time, what you guys, literally from the past 3 quests, you kind of pass the money for Hawk to get that belt.
Yep.
And that was one of the, okay, we have now.
That was an investment.
As I'm saying, is every single freaking magical item is investment.
Yes.
And you use the money from your quests to see, okay, this will be helpful.
Yes.
We will strengthen one of our characters. And I never understood the thing about mine artifacts and things like that. No, look.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because you have a disadvantage that is greed in some systems, and some people actually have a default when they start playing.
I know. It was kind of pointless for me because, okay, we put items here what we got. Let's see how we can strengthen our party because usually I don't think as a single person on that, except if people are really single-minded on that.
I mean, my guy in your setting actually carries a fucking practical armor with himself. And okay, what are we getting to? Okay, you get this, you get this, you get this, you get this. I always give something to others just because it could come in handy, or it couldn't. That depends on the situation.
Well,
but
yeah.
it's nice to have a backup plan, right?
That is kind of the point.
Stuff like that. And I remember now I remember playing a session that was D&D 3.5 edition, and the guy actually found something amazing that it was a very good armor. That was a dwarven armor, and it should have gone for my character because I was playing a dwarf and that was my reward. And he practically fucking stole it and went from town to town and asked if someone would want to give him a Holy Avenger for that. And that was
So Jonas gave all his pocket money toward the ship.
yeah.
Oh yeah. But
Yeah.
you guys are good with money and stuff like that. I mean, I would say more that you're not using all of your stuff, but that is more of our time and how we can actually get really rested on the session more than
Yes.
how
And
you
the other
actually
thing, we
use the
actually
stuff.
have people who do that for us. So
Yeah.
Also, that
but-
you can invest in NPCs to do your side things.
Yes, I would really like to do that more.
In a lot of sessions, that is practically something that not a lot of people use. Like,
Yeah.
it's an NPC. You can tailor his motivations to what you want. Okay, do you want to be a spy master? Okay, fine, but do it with us. We get bonuses, you get bonuses, and we can work together.
Exactly.
I mean, and not that. I mean, you can even patron blacksmiths and stuff like that, and that could be amazing. Oh man, I gave you 1,000 gold for investing into your forge. My sword broke. Can you make me a new one free? he would fucking do it.
Yeah. Just this one thing that Hawk just mentioned.
Yes. Money man, sir.
Yeah, Money Mancer. Well, there's an issue with that, a little bit issue, but not actually. Common folk wouldn't know it. Most of the common folk, even in some knowledgeable, wouldn't know about existence of certain people in the suits.
Of the trench coats.
Of the trench coats.
I would want to play that character so bad.
Do you guys want to play that campaign?
I would like to play it, trench
guys. You can actually
collector.
play all of this, but you can play the guys in the trench coats.
I want to play a trench coat character.
Those that literally go for the people that's literally gonna destabilize economy of the world.
That would be so amazing.
Those that hunt those mages and all supernatural pips that start making money as hell with the magic and supernatural means, and you kinda uncovering conspiracies and things like that, even if you are practically on conspiracy with that.
That would be so amazing.
That would be a really interesting campaign, I would say.
Yeah,
definitely.
but I
especially
think
because they are 100% not involving with themselves with really big battles or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, but I kind of feel like you would actually, and just because of the argument you made, not getting into some other stuff, I think you would have you should have a party that's really committed to doing especially that stuff, because in a party of 4 different characters, one might want to be a hero and go into big battles, and that could pose a problem to the character who would play the Money Mancer.
Look, this one wouldn't be that. This one, they will not hire a hero. They don't need hero.
But if a character like that tags along with the hero, that's what I'm saying.
That's okay. That's okay in a campaign like this. I mean, he can do it, but it will be fucking hard. He can do it.
Okay.
Like, I mean, for example, now you're playing Eastern campaign, and he's playing a mage that goes along with all how we trick to make more money, or actually doing some trickery to produce real money in economy of kingdom that you are in.
Yeah.
But trench coats will happen if you're really getting too much with that, or just skited by that. Thing is, in the trench coats, if you're playing trench coats here, there are no heroes there. You are psychologically gone through all process to be even considered as a hire before something. So there are no heroes there. Not like that.
Okay.
That's the point of them. They are literally almost offshoot of all secret societies there, to the point they might even have connections with those in the shadow.
Oh, he was thinking more of a sense of using gold as a spell-casting catalyst. Healing with Kentucky, golden fists from the sky, slowing people down by putting gold bars. That's interesting.
That's mixed here with that shamanism thing.
Yeah, that can. Asking people for money all the time. So a beggar mage, practically.
Depends.
Do you want to see a trick? Give me money.
I mean, if he treats people with illusions for the money, that can be interesting.
Yeah. And you can also heat metal on other people's. Like if they have a gold pouch, you can heat metal from that. It could be interesting. Yeah. That's actually a very
depends. For example, for perfectionists like in Lanet and Shivat, and even in Empire, in Abel, for example, if you bring them some fucked up coin, they will not take it. That was, they got it from somewhere suspicious.
Yeah.
But almost everything around, yeah, and I mean, you can deal with that with the villagers, but villagers don't see gold, for example.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, I kind of never get way too good into. I mean, in this campaign might be the best economics as we did by so far. In a way that there were not so much money too fast. And even the budget that you guys got for traveling on the skyship that we did. It was more of it's a budget for traveling, and you guys literally burning 35,000 gold by the week.
Yeah.
You don't spend that money on anything else if you want to travel.
Yeah, but I mean, in our session, we practically have a tavern that is run, so that goes into money. We have a guy who actually is going to prepare the funds and stuff in order to rebuild a whole quarter. And that kind of has to go along with what your character wants to make. Let's say my character is now a landlord.
Yeah.
He wants to bring the ruined quarter to fruition. You need to invest in that, and that has to have some calculations that don't need to happen on screen.
I love it because that actually makes it worth to get money.
Yeah.
And yes, we're gonna talk about economy in the world. I said I have questions.
Yeah.
And we'll probably in 15 minutes I will probably ending the stream because I will need to join my people on the work now. Soon.
That's all fine and dandy.
But yes, this was definitely a fun thing to do. A little bit relaxing morning.
Definitely.
Oh man, there will be storm apparently. It's weird time outside.
God damn it, and our character that is a Mercury mage shows up to my mind.
So it needs to be pretty good with science, with medical stuff, and mage. And I mean that's the way to make some Fate Stay Night like mages, magus like characters. Definitely, it's more you drop in the or Callum Bones, Ghost Rips. Oh yeah, definitely.
Or how the certain character from Fate Zero Fervor May Sangui.
The reason that I made jewels, for example, the main
currency.
Currency for the Sylvans on the sky, and they use it in the magic as a resource hell of a lot. Because they are by default really big supernatural society, and it has a bigger worth than any gold to them. It is by literally they generally can all spend that for the magical items by the price or actually for the craft. So yeah, jewels are biggest rank there.
Hi.
And things like that. Yes.
I had a weird concept when I was trying to run one session that didn't end rather well. I kind of stopped the session.
Mountain shop raid in Artwick. Yeah. Good.
Players were kind of, I'm not gonna say dumbasses, but they were so greedy that I didn't want to go.
We all passed through that. That's kind of rite of passage in any pen and paper groups.
I actually, my currency in that world was deeds. Because it was so hectic, it was full of people who could like die in Game of Thrones just from out of a whim of some character, and practically what would happen, and I didn't think this through. I think that it would have been cool. It wasn't. You would get a deed by killing a character that had a claim on a land. And that make a murder hobo situation, and it was just like, I don't need to make a logical NPC because the only result that I see is these four guys getting at the top of the world with no one else.
I actually like this. I didn't think this through. It made it funny. Oh my god!
It was just like I thought it would be cool because we could actually take these NPCs. We could make them peasants. We could actually make them shopkeepers. No, they would just go and take free real estate because they would fucking murder everyone.
Well, yeah, because that's
and that is the blame on my part, not necessarily on the players.
We will all get into talk about morals in campaigns, definitely,
and magnificent failures.
It's the thing. I'm not really the fan that much of alignment, but I see the point of them. But for example, here in our current campaign, by establishing how Sylvan works, because they are most prominent,
Yeah.
people followed slowly into that non-killing thing, because they're very much going by that law.
Yeah.
And not just by law, they are pacifists in a way. Most of them, actually.
Yeah. I mean, if shit really hits the fan, you're not gonna.
No.
You're not gonna be too much of a pacifist. Like in a situation we are getting right into now.
That's whole different story in the point
Yeah,
where you are, guys, right now.
I fucking gave you a choice.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna murder you because you cannot be repented.
Yeah, there's something. Well, you still need to think about your part of the religion thing.
Oh yeah.
Because Gabriel doesn't actually go that way. Gabriel actually goes for full forgiveness.
Yes, but I'm the paladin of all, so Azrael is also my baby.
Yes. Of course.
And that means the holy sword of guillotine.
Sorry. I will need to end the stream here.
Okay.
So, see you later this night at 8 Central European time, when we discuss Uncle Hawk's world that he built and go into detail about that.
Okie dokie.
Thank you for sticking around, and till the next time.
Sarabada.